Starting off with a roughly 2-inch diameter base, I score each side and I score my coil. I want to attach the first coil with slip. So slip is basically a watery clay. It can be used like glue. First coil, I see that there's a little overlap, and I can just cut the excess off with an X-Acto knife and just apply some slip and bring those two pieces together. This is my favorite tool. I got it from a pottery shop in Sorrento, Louisiana. The pottery shop was where I first got my work fired at outside of school. Louisiana Pottery offers classes and kiln firing services in addition to selling clay and supplies like glazes and this precious tool. You can find this type of tool online by searching wooden pottery tools or wood modeling tools, or your local pottery shop should also carry a variety of tools. This is a 6-inch wood modeling tool. You can see it does a wonderful job of smoothing the layer of coils and creating a smooth surface. Now I'm going to use a sponge pen. You can find these by searching for sponge pens for drawing. I like using it in clay because it can get into the seam area where the coils attach real neatly and smooth out that seam, just like I'm doing right now. This just will help make the cup watertight or prevent it from leaking. Rolling coils can be challenging, but once you've rolled 10 successful coils, you'll probably feel more comfortable rolling them at many sizes. Add a little water sometimes because the clay can dry a little as you're rolling. Now for the second coil, I'm going to cut it to size and save the remainder for the next coil again. Remember, you always want to score and slip when you connect the clay together. So essentially, you just keep rolling coils and laying until you get to a good size for where you'd like your cup. I like ceramics because it makes making art practical because you're making something utilitarian. I'd also like to point out that I'm waiting until my cup is as high and as tall as I'd like before smoothing out my coils. Another thing I'd like to say and mention is that you might want to take an anti-inflammatory medication after rolling so many coils because you will be sore after using different muscle groups. I like to brush a little water to my cup because air will dry clay out. You can also use a spray to spritz water. I just do not have a bottle or spray bottle at the moment, which is surprising because I have so many tools. He gon' hit on my gram. If he smart, he gon' act like a fan. Think you bigger, they got your head gas. Bitches slow, so I give him a pass. Like, keep it a stack. Bitches move out cause they know I got bands. They be chatting, I don't give a damn, and I'm still getting money, I know who I am. Tryna be low, he gon' hit on my gram. If he smart, he gon' act like a fan. Think you bigger, they got your head gas. Bitches slow, so I give him a pass. And I just fell in love with a gangster, so he put my name in the tap. But I don't let him come to the crib, so we get it on where we at. I like making a batch of coils. They do not have to be perfect. I am making them about as thick as I'd like the walls of my mug to be, which is around 1/2 centimeter. Now, as you can see, I'm kind of fanning my fingers out as I'm rolling, and that helps to push the clay outward so that it becomes elongated. So I start with my inner fingers pushing down, and then I'll push my outer fingers, just the tips of them out longer. And if it breaks, that's not a big deal. Coils break and you just keep rolling. So this one I'm pretty happy with. I just need a little size about, well, it broke again. It's not a problem if they break. You can just reuse those pieces. I like to throw them into my slip bucket. And I like to keep my clay wrapped up in a plastic between use. I'm using a cheese knife to cut off the little bits of clay from my coils.
I don't give a damn and I'm still getting money, I know who I am. Tryna be low, he gon' hit up my gram. If he's smart, he gon' act like a fan. Thinking you bigger, they got your head gas. Bitches slow, so I get him a pass. Like, keep it a stack. Bitches move out cause they know I got bands. They be chatting, I don't give a damn and I'm still getting money, I know who I am. Tryna be low, he gon' hit up my gram. If he's smart, he gon' act like a fan. Thinking you bigger, they got your head gas. Bitches slow, so I get him a pass. Catch it.
Spot, just sit and talk, looking pretty. Follow me. 우리 나란히 보이지 내 눈이 갑자기 빛나지 when you say I'm a dream. You don't even know my name, dear. You don't even know my name, dear. I'm super shy, but wait a minute while I make your mind.
Now that I have several coils rolled, I'm just scoring them and scoring the cup, adding some slip, and then I'll attach the coil. Add some slip to the coil first, and add a little bit more slip. And this is a metal rib, that's a scoring rib, so it's serrated on the edges. It leaves it's useful as a scoring tool. I had like a different scoring tool, but it broke, and I find the rib to just be more stable and less prone to breaking. It doesn't matter, again, if the coil pieces are attached in broken parts and don't go all the way around your circumference. But if you can get a coil to go all around your circumference, that's obviously is a little easier than attaching pieces bit by bit. But I'm really non-traditional as an artist in general, so it doesn't bother me that I'm doing things in a weird way. Now that I'm finished layering coils, I can smooth out the inside of my bowl. It's a bowl right now, so it doesn't have a handle. I'm really happy with the size of this potential mug. It looks like a proper teacup. It is about 2.5 inches tall and about 5 inches wide. This again is my favorite tool. Again, you can find it by searching wooden pottery tools or wood modeling tools, or your local pottery shop should carry one. This is a 6-inch tool. You can see it does a wonderful job of smoothing out the layers of coils and creating a smooth surface. So I'm just gently brushing upward with this modeling tool, and then sometimes I'll go back over it and brush to the side. I'm just wanting to create a smooth surface and even out the seams between my coils. So if I left the coils as they are, food would get stuck in between the layers, and so it wouldn't be a food safe vessel. So in order to make it food safe, you have to smooth out the coils on the interior. This will keep it from leaking and from food particles from getting stuck as well. Once I'm done smoothing the interior, I can go on the exterior of the cup and do the exact same thing. So starting by brushing upwards and to the side some, I'm just smoothing out the layers between my coils. So I noticed that there's a slight crack, and I just fill that up with some slip and smooth it out and keep going. I noticed that my cup was a little uneven after smoothing everything out, so I just added a couple more coils, and again I'm just smoothing them out with this wood modeling tool, just so that I have a nice even shape to my potential mug. After smoothing my exteriors and interiors with the wooden modeling tool, I bring my attention to the outside surface of my mug / bowl. This is a wet sponge by Mud Tools. Their sponges mimic a rib in function and also come in various sizes and textures. The textures are like the grit and sandpaper. The coarser the texture, the heavier the grip. And they will smooth a lot denser surface variations, whereas a smooth, low-grit surface sponge can be used to refine a surface. Notice I'm reaching for my coarser sponge, because that smooth sponge wasn't really doing the job for me. I'm just wetting it a little bit right now. You can't see it, it's off camera. Ooh. So this is a coarser sponge that I'm going to use because it needs to be able to smooth out those rough indentations from the wooden modeling tool. And you can see this sponge does a better job than that first sponge that's off to the left because it was a lot smoother. I can use that sponge later to refine the shape a bit more. But for right now, I just want to smooth out any indentations. And this is another cool pottery tool. It is a sponge on a stick. Basically, it can reach inside the deep surfaces of vessels and smooth out the interior without having to stick my hand in here. It just gives a better smooth surface than what I could achieve with by just putting my hand in those other sponges in there. So I'm going to use a wire cutting tool to lift my mug off of the wooden bat that I've been working on. And you want to do this because if you don't use a wire cutting tool and you just simply try to lift it off the surface, you will tear it because when I'm adding so much pressure, rolling coils and layering, the base of my cup it suctions to the bottom of the mat. So I just flipped it over. I cut it with a wire cutting tool so that I wouldn't damage my cup. And I'm just smoothing out some of the aspects that are on the bottom that look a little ugly. And I can use my finger to do this as well. And also, so I'm gonna flip it back over, scrape off the excess clay from the bottom of my rib with a mat, otherwise that'll stick to the bottom. And I'm just gonna smooth a little bit out, put it back in the center. Alright, so now I'm going to pull a handle. So I have a small bit of clay and I wet my hand very generously and just pull it. It's almost like milking a cow. So because I'm pulling a small handle, I'm just working with a small bit of clay, and I'm mostly using my forefinger and my thumb right now to pull that handle down. So now you can see as I'm doing it on the opposite direction, I'm just pulling gently with my fingers outward and away from the center and kind of shaping it into a curve as I go. Here we go. It's looking pretty nice right now. I feel like it might break, which is okay. If your handle breaks in the middle of raking it, you can just keep pulling strong. Yep, there it is. It broke. And you can just keep pulling a little bit less firmly, but just pulling outward a little bit more, guiding that clay to the shape that you would like it to be. And there's my head. Yay, getting some water on my hands again. Sometimes you have to wipe excess clay off of your hand. That's why I have a nasty towel right there. It's my clay towel. And I'm just refining the ends of my handle right now with my 2 fingers as gently as I possibly can. Sorry, I'm off camera. But I think I've almost got it. That's the Great British Baking Show in the background. Love watching that while I'm making clay. Here we go. And so I've got my nice handle shape. So I've scored the ends of my handle, and now I'm going to score the position that I'd like to attach the handle in, and then just apply some slip to both the mug and the edges of the handle, and I'm scoring the handle where it will attach, putting some slip on. And once you've got a generous coat, you can just basically stick your handle. There you go. It's just like making a connection. So you can stick it in, and you want to press that clay in gently, not too hard. I like placing my fingers on the inside of my mug, so I'm pressing against my own fingers and not just pressing against the mug. Now that I've got my handle attached, I can focus on decorating the outside of my mug, and I'm choosing to use some cat stencils because I'd like to make this a cat mug. So I'm using a stencil and a rib to inlay a cat pattern on the exterior. I found this stencil in a child's Christmas gift box for letter writing. It came with notepaper, crayons, and cute cat stickers. So the stencils remind me of my own cat, Pidgey. Pidgey is 5 months old and full of kitten energy. He loves hanging out in my studio while I'm working. Pretty sure he is teething. He loves stealing my sponges. I'm just refining the cat's outline with a silicone pencil. I really love cats, but I haven't had a cat as a pet in over a decade, almost 20 years actually. My last cat was a Siamese Himalayan, a lot different than Pidgey. Pidgey is named after a Pokemon that is based on a pigeon, so it's a bird Pokemon. The Pokemon has an extremely sharp sense of direction and homing instincts. Our cat, Pidgey, however, wears an air tag. Wayne loved the name Pidgey after I initially suggested pigeon, as he is gray with beautiful brown golden eyes. Wayne thinks we should refer to Pidgey with the evolutions of the Pokemon as he ages. So when he's a cat and not a kitten, he'll be Pidgeotto, and when he's elderly, he'll be Pidgeot.
I do
So I used some slip to write "I want to be a cat" on the inside of this cat teacup. I'm a really big fan of music, and Thundercat is great, so I thought I would add that little lyric on the inside of this cup to make it extra special. Thanks, you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and if you like this video and like to see more, please hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks so much, and you guys have a great day. Thank you.